Welcome into Softball Talk, episode 11. And I am Dan the Fan. Along with me is Coach JB. Coach, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome. Hey, Thanksgiving edition for you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope you enjoy a break. Rest your bodies. All the players that are listening, all the coaches and parents, rest your heads. Because, man, I tell you, Coach, we just can't get away from different scenarios and not necessarily drama, but parents not understanding everything that you do as a coach or you do in your facility.
No. Again, it's a little frustrating, So, everybody, these kids come in to do hitting lessons. And listen, there's probably other hitting instructors out there, or pitching instructors, catching instructors, whatever, out there that, listen to this podcast. And they're going to start shaking their head. Because at the end of the day, when your kid goes to pitching lessons or hitting lessons or catching lessons, they go one day a week.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but going to a hitting lesson or a catching lesson or a pitching lesson one day a week and not doing anything outside of that lesson is not going to get them where they need to be.
Correct.
So I'm in the facility, and I get a parent that comes up to me and says, I don't get it, and the kid's standing there and says, she's struggling. She's just not hitting the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And he says, I just don't know, and I said, okay. So I looked down at the kid and I said, have you done any of the drills that I've given you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done your PVC shoulder tilt drills? Have you done your knob rotation drills? Have you done your lower half rotation drills to get your lower half loaded?
Yes.
Have you done any of those drills at home?
Yes.
And she said, no. And I looked at the parent and I said, how do you expect her to build muscle memory in her body if she's not going to do these drills? You can't just get in the box and force your body to do what you wanted to do while you're trying to track a 50-mile-an-hour, 60-mile-an-hour ball and think about getting your body to do what you need it to do. That's why you build muscle memory, so that the body takes care of what it needs to do so that you can track the ball and put the barrel on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your kid's not going to get better. It's going to take a lot longer to get your kid where they need to be if they're only going to do this one day a week.
Coach, and what I equate it to is me losing weight. So I'm trying. I'm working on it, right? And so if I diet or watch what I eat one day a week, and then the rest of the week I just go full board, not think about it, do whatever I want, at the end of that week or come around to that next week when I go to diet, there's going to be no change on the scale.
None.
And I think that's the easiest scenario for Coach and I to explain the importance of doing the homework. Is it's just like trying to lose weight. If you don't work on that every single day, you're not going to see any, nothing's going to come to fruition. You're not going to become a better hitter. You're not going to be able to become a better player. Because when you're only in there for 1 hour a day, and Coach JB talks to him at the end, so he'll huddle the hitters up at the end, and you'll probably speak for 5 or so minutes, right, Coach? You'll have a daily, this, and this of what you're going to push and go after, or what you saw in the cage.
Well, usually it's, I get them around there, and usually I'll go one to the other. Okay, this week, this is what you were doing. This is what you need to focus on at home. And I'll set them up with a drill.
Yes.
And then I'll go to the next one. Mm-hmm. This is what I saw from you this week. Mm-hmm. This is what you need to work on. This is the drill I want you to work on. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go to the next one. But at the end of the day, there's certain drills that they are told that they need to do all the time.
Yes. And you give them the PV. We've talked about this, what happens at Top Prospects, and you can rewatch back to old episodes, but Coach gives them, a piece of PVC pipe. It's not a big deal. It's a piece of PVC pipe cut to a certain length, and he goes through it with them, the exact drills you do. Then you get in front of a mirror and you do this.
Yes.
And it's nothing crazy. It's
No.
nothing that you cannot do at home.
No.
You can darn near do it in the car, not necessarily, but you know what I'm saying. You don't need it. You don't have to go outside, nothing like that. It's all doable. And at the end of the day, Coach, when they do the homework, perfect example, and I hate to always bring her up. I'm sorry, but she's my daughter that struggled at the plate,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And so we were, we're a year into this with Coach JB. We're a year and a half into this with Coach JB, and we see great positive strides, and then we'll tail off, and then, it's just like a pendulum. We're just going back and forth until we dedicated 2 solid weeks to homework every night, outside hitting balls into the net. Then we saw strides, Coach.
Yeah.
And that was a two or three home run weekend.
Yeah.
Because we put in the work. And there's a reason why we have the homework.
That's right.
And for parents to expect, and I'm not going to say that I didn't either at times. Maybe they just don't understand. But for them to expect coming in there for 1 hour a week, of a 7-day period for 1 hour, that's it. To expect something just magnificent without doing the extras is a little bit too far-fetched.
No, it's crazy. And I tell, my older kids, I joke with them all the time, and I say, listen, if I had a magic pill I could sell you that would turn you into just a flat, great hitter, and all you had to do was take that pill,
Yeah,
folks, I would be gone. Like, nobody would see me. I'd be living on an island somewhere.
exactly. Yeah,
Like, I'd be wealthy living on an island somewhere. But no, I come in there every night, and I work with these kids, and they're constantly working. Nobody sets down. Like, I have tees set up with nets, and they're always working through drills while they're waiting to get in the cage.
Yeah.
And so I'm always watching them. Hey, keep your hands up.
Correct.
Hands above the ball, whatever, rotate through there. But they get pushed in there, but at the end of the day, when you leave there, you have to go home and reinforce what you learn so that it becomes habit.
yeah,
And then I tell them, all the time, the best thing to do is mirror drills, man.
yeah.
Get in front of that mirror. You know why? Because the mirror does not lie to you.
Correct.
If your hands are dropping, you can see it in the mirror that they're dropping.
Right.
So, dry swings in the mirror are the best things to do. But at the end of the day, it was a little frustrating that, somebody approached me like that. And, and then when I ask if their kid has done any homework,
Yeah.
the answer was no.
Right. Yeah. And to expect to come in and hitting home runs after one lesson, or, like I said, we're a year and a half into Top Prospects, and it's a totally different swing, and you're still tweaking it.
Yeah, always.
To this day.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, like, as a parent, and the best way to think about it, and Coach JB and I spoke about it just a touch, is just like losing weight or training for a marathon. If you're not doing it every day, then what's the point? You're putting in the time, you're putting in your hard-earned money. The kids that are listening and the parents that are listening, they all need to understand that everyone needs to hold each other accountable. And maybe you set up a calendar. We have a family alarm that my wife and I and Madison are on, that we can, hey, did you do your swings today? Mm-hmm. Because it can't happen. We forget. Yep. We got things. They've got midterms. They've got detentions, whatever. Who knows? How bad of a kid they've been that week. To remember to do those. And we can all kind of help each other and hold each other accountable.
Exactly.
I think it's important. Yeah. So,
and again, that holds true for not just hitters. You got pitchers out there that
even more so, Coach,
yes.
Because sometimes the swing, we can forgive ourselves or get a good pitch, get a meatball down the middle. But as a pitcher,
yep,
it's even more important. And I believe Hallie, for example, Roberts, one of our guests, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch. She'll tell you every night she's doing something. Heavy balls in the basement.
Yep.
I mean, in all things that she can do at home. It's not somebody sitting on a bucket and catching her. You know, she's doing things at home.
Right.
And strength training. That's very important as well.
You know, and I mean, it works for, listen, at the end of the day, if you want to play this game at a higher level,
Yeah.
whether you're in middle school and you want to go to high school and you want to be on that field, and then you want to go from high school to college and you want to be on that field.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it goes back to when we were little. We didn't have when I was growing up, there was nobody out there doing hitting lessons.
Yeah.
There was nobody out there doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we got tennis balls and went out in the front yard and threw balls against the steps.
Yes.
And we would do glove work with the balls bouncing off the steps and things like that to improve. And, you know, we got to get back to that.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a middle infielder, you got that glove work's got to be on.
Yeah.
And not only that, but your footwork has to be on.
Yeah.
You can't call yourself a middle infielder and not be able to get to the ball over there, or
Correct.
not be able to get to the ball over there. Your lateral movement not be very good. You're not very fast. You know, so what do you do for that? You buy a jump rope and you start jump roping.
Yes.
Why do boxers jump rope?
Yes.
Because they're light on their feet.
Yeah.
It keeps them moving, dancing. You know, so as a middle infielder, you want to be light on your feet so you can move and go attack that ball, backhand, whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to invest in a jump rope. I'm going to go outside every day and I'm going to start jump roping.
Yeah.
You know, and so at the end of the day, it bodes for not only hitters, pitchers, outfielders, infielders. You have to be doing work at home if you want to get to the next level.
Yes.
And I think, Coach, you went to a camp. Your daughter went to a camp today.
Yes, I did.
And I believe they were told that by a college coach.
You know, Coach, I have to. I went into this camp. It was at Berea College. We're going to put and we're not paid or endorsed, or they probably have no clue who I even am or whatever. I was there today. Berea College put on a camp today, Coach.
Yep.
They did pitchers and catchers in the morning, offense, and then defense. So it was if you did all 3 sessions, it was a full day. Very fairly priced for what it was. We're going to put it up there so you have the details. They have 2 more coming. They've got 1 more in December and 1 more in January. And I have to say, Coach, I highly recommend it. It was run. Berea put it on. But Samantha Jones, who's the former coach at Morehead State, she stepped down, I think, a year ago. I don't know her full story. I know she stepped down a year ago to take some time, maybe some children involved or something like that, some kids. Unbelievable. I mean, Coach, I was the energy that she has, it was incredible. On top of that, it was a group of regional college coaches from around the area, D3 NAIA coaches. We had from K-State, David Morton. We've seen him a lot at Transy tournaments. Berea had Angela Deem and Samantha Goforth. Samantha was kind of her assistant. And then there was quite a few other people that are involved with the Berea softball program, other assistant coaches. I didn't catch all their names. And then Asbury had a coach, Jen Sarver. Fantastic. I mean, just awesome. And then we also had the coach from Midway. And honestly, I can't for the life of me remember her name. I thought I wrote it down. NAI school, fantastic. I mean, just great. And if you are a player and you're looking for feedback, this is the camp to go to.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I don't know if Samantha's affiliated with the University of Kentucky now. I'm not exactly sure, Coach. I thought she is something.
Okay.
But talk about an incredible camp. We're going to throw up a couple pictures. There was 10 stations, normal camp setup, but I mean, it was everything from soft toss coach to speed drills with little bitty rubber balls. There was flip drills. There was a lot to do with transfers. Which I know you would love for anybody, honestly, anymore. I mean, a quicker transfer. and just great energy. And they had your machine there.
Oh yeah.
And Berea just had one, but it's the same machine that UAK used and now Mercy uses and your Freedom organization uses. It was really great to see. They did it indoors, so there's a new and I'm sorry I'm long-winded, Coach, but there's a new indoor facility at Berea. They utilized that. I wish they would have went outside. That was my only complaint. And they did a little bit for outfield drills and stuff. I wish they would have took infield. But then Samantha, Coach Jones, did this. I don't even know what I would call it, but it was a indoor scrimmage. And the way she ran it is hard for me to explain right now, but I'll have to really think about it. But it was awesome.
Okay.
I was very excited. At the end, they took questions, and then we got instant feedback, and my daughter got to speak to all the coaches one-on-one. So as a parent, extremely well worth the money. If you're looking for D3, NAI, or feedback.
Yeah.
Or to go to a camp and kind of understand.
Yeah.
Because they will tell you anything and everything. You know what they told me, Coach? They said, when you see us out and about at tournaments, come up and say hi.
Yep.
Who talked about that a few weeks back? Coach JB said, when you're out, go say hi.
Yep.
One of the best things that I heard from the Midway coach was that she was very upset that she only had received 2 emails from players that were coming to the camp. That she would like to get more.
Okay.
And that they read every email. They all have files. They all sort them by years. They did explain to me that, or to the players and the parents, they asked us all to come in, that in a lot of their situations, they're just looking for the next year. But that being said, they are keeping a log of it. And they knew who my daughter was because we play in all the tournaments in front of them.
Yep.
They've seen her.
Yep.
They know her. So it was a great experience for me. I think she got a lot out of it.
Yep.
And we are really looking forward to, we are going to go back because I think this Samantha Jones put on one heck of a camp.
Yeah.
I thought she did the way she ran it. There's some tweaks. There's some things that I would change. But I think for the most part, they did one heck of a job, Coach.
Good deal.
So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I thought it was good. You know, I like to spread the news because, you know, there's parents out there that, you know, my daughter hasn't heard anything about a camp. And so we're just trying to get the word out. And if this is like a starting point for you, there was a lot of like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders there as well.
Yeah.
So it's always good to get your feet wet, and always with the feedback. And all these ladies and coaches that were there had no problem letting you know.
Well, you know, and a lot, like you say, a lot of kids don't know about these camps.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, I send out camp information to my kids.
Right. And that's how I found out about it, was you and Coach Messer sent it out to us. Otherwise, I would have had no idea.
So Samantha Jones had emailed all this to me numerous times. And so I sent it out to the group. And I'll do that. Like, I get camp stuff all the time. And I kind of sort through them.
Yeah.
I kind of know what
Coach,
the good camps are and what are not.
Because there's some that are not. And
right.
As a parent, we've experienced one that was very expensive.
Yes.
And 2, it was a waste of time.
Yes. There are, you know, some of those are fundraisers to help pay assistant coaches.
Yes.
So I kind of sort through those, and I send the ones out that, you know, I know my kids are going to benefit from, they're going to get feedback from. And so as a coach, I do that. If you're an athlete and you're playing at a program, you know, that would be something that I would probably ask my head coach.
Yeah.
Because most of the head coaches get these things.
Yes.
And I would say, hey, could you start forwarding the camps to me, because I need to start getting the camps.
Yes, exactly.
And, But I make sure that, I not only do I send it to my kids at Mercy, but I also send them my kids on the Freedom Organization too.
Yes.
Because I want them to be attending these camps.
Exactly.
And getting their name out there. And like you say, I think, you were telling me on the phone there that, they kind of knew who my kids were that were there.
Absolutely. And they were asking about a couple of them that couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And where are they and that sort of thing. So it's exciting, not Coach, and we've talked about this with Hallie, not every kid's a D1 player.
That's right.
Or wants to be.
Right.
They still want the and I have to hand it to her. My daughter asked the question. It gets asked at a lot of camps, but tell me a typical day in your life. And they were all a little bit different, but they all started at 6 a.m. with strength training.
Yeah.
And then they all went to class, and then they all, had lunch, and then study hall, and then, practice, and then, and of course things change. But it was very interesting to see, and then them also talk about, how they are, yes, they get kids from all over, but they are locked in to this area.
Yes.
And so it's great to see that you have kids that want to play in this area. They want kids from this area. But at the same time, and circling back around, the Midway coach mentioned that, unless you're, blowing the ball out of the ballpark every time you're up or doing something just absolutely crazy, which is extremely tough to do.
Yes.
If you don't reach out to us and let us know who you are and send us emails and communicate, you're just going to get lost in the shuffle.
Right.
And I thought that was very important because, first of all, she's a fantastic coach. I really like her, and I like how she speaks to the players. I think she's a great coach. But she's like, hey, look, you have to reach out to me.
Right.
Because, maybe one, you don't want to go to our school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the degree that you want. She's like, there's a lot of things. So, we need to fill spots, and I don't have time to say, hey, are you, when you're just, a great player that's looking for a school, you need to come to me. You need to let me know you're interested.
Right.
I'm not going to come to you because I have so many kids already reaching to me. Right. Yeah. So I thought that was important. And then the last thing, and I'll stop beating on this, but she mentioned that oh heck, Coach. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. But at the end of the day, for me, I thought it was one of the better camps that we've been to. And I'm looking forward to us going back in December. For sure.
Well, I think the cool thing that you were telling me on the phone, talking to you on the way back in, was you said that the coach had told the kids something about working outside of there if they were only there to.
Oh, thank you. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. She brought up that exact point that this whole what we were going to talk about today was she stopped the camp. She brought them all together and said, listen, if you are just here for this moment and you are not going to take anything from today, then this is a waste of your time and your parents' money.
Yeah.
That everything that we're doing today is for a reason. And this was the best part of what she said is, and if you don't understand something, say, hey, Coach, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm. And
let them understand, let them explain it to you to understand why you're doing that.
Right.
And I thought, man, that's breaking it down all the way down to where, whether you're a fifth grader, a sixth grader, an eighth grader, a sophomore in high school, where you could easily understand it.
Yeah.
And also made it to where you weren't afraid to ask questions. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was very good. Sometimes and a lot of kids get amped up and nervous about camps. I get it, especially if you don't know anybody there. But I think it made it a little more homey, a little more easygoing, and also you could learn a lot.
Right.
And I think my daughter, learned a lot today. And I think it was worth our time. I really, really do. One of the better ones, yeah.
Good.
Coach, in front of you, you've got the Camwood bat. I know it's something that you use a lot at your facility. That's actually a brand new one. You just got it.
Yep.
as a softball parent, I see it on my timelines for everything all the time. They advertise a whole lot. Can you, and I think I get the gist of it, Coach, of what it's for, but could you explain to everyone, and is it something that maybe, if you're looking for something for around the house to have, what type of tool is it?
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. If you got a kid at home and they're hitting balls off the tee, invest in one of these. It's got weight on the bottom and above the hands. Okay. So I use it a lot in my facility because of the weight. It forces you to keep them hands up.
Okay.
Okay. Because otherwise your hands are going to want to drop.
Yeah.
So that weight, again, reinforcement.
Yes.
Okay. When I rotate and I keep them hands up above the ball, I got all this weight on me. So it forces that.
Okay.
So in doing that, because of all this weight, we're going to increase bat speed.
Oh.
Because the hands are going to explode through there, right?
Okay.
So, dude, I go through these bats like, yes, these break too.
Yeah.
These break too. So
well,
I
when
think,
you got 130 kids a week coming
Yes.
through there, it's going to happen. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but this is so they got these on sale right now. And again, I'm not endorsed by Camwood. I don't make anything off that. I'm just trying to help hitters out there.
Yeah.
They have these on sale right now. Good Christmas present. $99.
Yeah.
And you can actually get them custom ordered.
Awesome. I see yours says Top Prospects.
So
on
mine
TPL.
says TPL on it. You can get whatever you want on there. And then, but it's a hand speed trainer, and we use these religiously.
Yeah.
And I see a huge difference with my kids getting their hands through the zone because of this.
Got it.
Um,
And so, Coach, you just set up a tee in the backyard, like a Tanner tee with a ball hit into a net, and that's the best way to use a tool like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I think it's
I mean, now we hit live with these too. So I'll pitch
correct.
to the girls in the cage and hit live with them too. That's usually when we break them.
Yeah.
But like I say, these things are fantastic. I'll keep buying them.
Yeah.
I don't care how many breaks. I'll keep buying these.
And Coach just got this in the Mercy Blue and Black. He has probably a half a dozen more.
I've got the Freedom colors.
Yeah.
I've got the Mercy colors. I've got a bunch of other colors that I just order because they're custom and, they're $99. I'm just going to throw colors on them.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I might get one that says podcast on it. I don't know. Next.
But they do. They've got everything you can imagine, and I know it's been a positive. Every time my daughter goes there and hits, you see Coach breaking them out. They come in all different sizes and weights. Coach, how do you purchase, or how do you know the weights? Are they all
it's the same as your bat.
same as your bat?
So
Okay,
this one here is a 33 inch.
okay.
So I order, I got a 33 inch
Yep.
because most of my kids are high schoolers.
Yep.
I've got a 32 inch.
Yep.
I've got a 31 inch.
Okay.
I've got a 30 inch for the small kids. And you can also buy the one-handed trainers,
Okay.
which I make the girls use in there also for that top hand
Yeah.
driving through there, which is the same setup.
Yeah.
The weight on the bottom, the weight above the top, it's just smaller.
Yeah.
So we use that for the top hand work in there. Again, your top hand's your driver.
Right. And so I just wanted to bring it up because I know people have enjoyed some of our reviews on different things, and it's something that Coach JB uses every day, and I know it's a staple at Top Prospects. So I just wanted to bring it up, and if you have any questions, coachingthefan@gmail.com. Coach JB would be happy to explain it to you or help you out. But Camwood Bats, CAM Wood Bats. And they have everything,
And
colors, and
we'll throw the link up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's www.camwoodbats.com.
Yeah,
but we'll throw the link up there for you. I would take a look at these great Christmas presents.
yeah,
And they'll get a lot of use out of them.
absolutely.
And you'll see results.
Yeah. While we're talking about it, I did want to bring up the War Stick, Coach. So I said last episode that my daughter, wasn't excited about it, didn't really like it. Well, it just took one lesson in the cage, and now she loves the bat.
Well, again, the knob,
Yeah,
right? So the knob of this is not like your standard knob. It's tapered.
yeah,
It's all the way up. So we went to work with it in there.
yeah,
She wasn't comfortable with it.
yeah,
And so we started changing the way she was holding it
yes,
to get her to feel a little bit better about it, how she was holding it in her hands.
yes.
And she come in there and started swinging it and swinging it and swinging it. And then you said she comes home that night after lessons, says, what he changed today really felt good and comfortable.
Yeah,
Like it felt like my hands were freer.
right.
And so then she liked it. And needless to say, she started hitting with it. She had a tryout this weekend. And so she was hitting with it on Thursday night to get ready for a tryout this weekend. And, yeah, she busted this one too.
Yeah,
But I think the reason that this one busted is because she was just going through the softballs like crazy. I mean, it was one after another, after another, after another, after another, and she was hitting them pretty hard,
yeah,
smashing them. So that's the reason why I think this one kind of gave out, because we were relentless with it, and she wasn't the only one swinging it either. So you
Yeah.
had several other girls picking this up, going to town with it too, and so I think that's what happened with that one.
So, I mean, shout out to Warstick, though, because at the end of the day, we got home from practice at 10 o'clock that night, sent them an email. 2 o'clock the next day, I had a shipping confirmation for the new bat.
And
Another
again,
bat.
you
No
didn't have-
questions asked, Coach.
no questions asked,
No.
and you didn't have to send us one back.
No, we're going to start hanging them on the wall, I guess.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't know.
just going to hang them all on the wall.
But, I mean, if it's going to be customer service like that, I don't have a problem. And everyone that I've dealt with there has been great. And, hey, let's see what happens. But I'm telling you, that and the Backlash have to be the two best bats in the game right
Well,
now.
there's not a doubt about it.
Yeah.
I
Great,
mean,
great bats.
yeah.
Coach, finally, we're going to get to it. The 7th region hitters.
Yep.
I'm excited to finally, hey, it's been a long time coming to these ladies.
Yeah, they've been waiting week after week.
Yeah, and hey, it takes a lot to get to it. We've had a lot of great conversation and things happened over the last few weeks, but I just really want to make sure that we get to give these girls their due because they deserve it. you know?
Yes.
Coach, what's
Yeah.
the first team you got there? You might need to flip the page.
Flip the page here.
Yeah, I think so.
So Eastern.
Okay, let's talk about Eastern, Coach. Who you got on there?
Leading off was Caitlin Chitwood. She kid hit a 448 on the season with 5 home runs. Hey, look, I'll tell you this about this kid is she's been hitting with me for a while.
Yeah.
And all she talked about was hitting a home run.
Yeah.
And this kid put in work, put
Yes.
in work, put in work, put in work. She's been working her tail off.
Yeah.
And I will not ever forget the first night she hit that first home run. That kid called me on the phone.
Yeah.
And then she turned around and hit 4 more after that.
Yeah.
But fantastic little hitter, and I believe she has committed
Yes,
to
and
IUS.
Yes, that's it. Yes, exactly. So congrats again, Caitlin. I know we've talked about her before, but super happy for her. Another player that my daughter has played with in the past, Edie Kretzer. She'll be a sophomore this year. 3 home runs, a 360 batting average. A great player. I know she hit the game winner walk off in I believe it was the second round of the regionals or first round of the regionals maybe. But had some fantastic plays last year as a freshman. I look to see big things from her because, hey, they have Hallie on the mound. They're still kind of a young team. They've got some young players in some key spots.
Yep.
So we'll see her. And then Grayson Staples, she'll be a junior coach. A home run for her. Still batted over a 300 on the season.
Yep.
So best of luck to them, your Eastern Eagles. And also, while we're on the subject, brand new weight facility at Eastern High School.
Yeah.
I think I showed it to Coach. We'll try to throw it in here. We might not, but if you follow me on Twitter at DanTheFanKY or at KYCoach_JB, we retweeted the Eastern weight room. Awesome, man! It looks beautiful, and I hope those girls get to use it and get their strength training in, because what an asset to have that on campus for those ladies.
Yeah.
So great for them. Coach, who you got next?
The DuPont Manual Crimson.
Ah, yes, the old Manual. Now, Coach, have we heard any update? Do they got a new coach yet, or have we heard?
I have only heard speculation and rumor that the interim coach is going to be, his name just left me.
You'll think of it in a minute.
Coach at Fern Creek.
Okay.
He was an assistant at Fern Creek last year.
Got it. Okay.
His name will come to me, but from what I'm hearing, he's the interim head coach for right now.
Okay.
So
Well,
we'll get his name here in a few minutes.
Yeah, but I'm happy to hear, Coach, that they do have somebody for those ladies that they can get moving, move on with the process, get a
Mark
it-
Avertizia. Sorry,
you.
I didn't want to cut you off.
No, I'm
but
glad.
Once it, I'm old. Once it hits me, I got to say it or I'm going to forget it.
Well, and I'm happy. I remember Mark from when my daughter had practiced a couple times, and he was up there. Very nice guy. I'm sure he'll get along great with all the ladies over there. And best of luck to them and him as they get this season underway. But I did want to recognize a couple of them. Natalie Piccarilli, I believe is how you pronounce it. 7 bombs last year.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, shout out to her. Batted a 370. Super, super awesome. And then Amelia Clemens, who I don't know if we'll get to see her this year, Coach, but 8 home runs for her coming out of the circle as well, and batted a 458. So that was that's really good to see from the Manual Crimsons.
Yeah, and they've got a youngster down there too that hit Haley Kincaid hit 4 home runs.
Yes, absolutely.
With what is that, a 358?
359. Sorry, yes, I did.
I don't have my
that.
glasses on, so it's hard for me to read these.
But and she's a junior, so
yes.
And probably will be spending a lot of time in the circle as well. So big bat last year also for Haley, and Natalie returning for her senior year. So best of luck to them. Best of luck to their interim head coach. I'm happy they've got some things figured out down there for those ladies, and can move on as they get ready for the season, because, hey, Coach, it's coming.
Oh, man, once we get through these holidays, it's on us.
Yeah, it's amazing.
On us.
Yeah. Next up, Coach, we have the male Bulldogs.
Yes, sir, male Bulldogs.
And we've got Jayla Manning, who's going to be a junior, batted a 463 last year.
Mm-hmm.
We had Riley Newman, also a junior, 6 monster bombs and batted a 425. And then Madison Reed, another junior, 6 home runs and batted a 403. Those are 3 that I had marked off, Coach. Some big numbers from those top hitters, and they had quite a few ladies that batted in the 300s for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and always a tough one. I know they've got quite a few great pitchers, a lot of them that we know. Really look forward to seeing what they bring onto the table, because I think they're going to be a pretty tough matchup in the 7th this year.
They are, and they're fairly young too. They've got a lot of youngsters over there too. Of course, everybody knows that. They got JCTMS that feeds into them, and some other schools, and whatever. But they get a lot of young kids in over there. We'll just have to see, how the coach handles that this year.
Absolutely. Coach, next up, the defending back-to-back state champions, the Ballard Bruins.
Yep.
Coach Jones over there, maybe in a little bit of a rebuild. I guess we'll find out. I know he returns senior star, and I think U of L commit, maybe Michaela Milby.
Yeah, she did just commit to U of L.
9 home
or
runs.
just signed. She just signed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
9 home runs last season, batted a .434.
Yep.
And so that's a bright spot for them. And then on that top list, the other returning senior would be Lillian Koch, batted a .354. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. But, they've got some bright spots. Really didn't get to see a lot of the younger kids. I think this year with a lot of their older girls graduating and moving on, we'll see some new bright stars over there for the Ballard Bruins.
Yeah, and anxious to see, just how they, you lose a pitcher like Brooke Gray, off to college.
Yeah.
That
Emery Donaldson. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
So Macy McCoy. He had some.
He had some stars.
He had a lot of talent over there. Amari Golden.
Yeah.
One of his big hitters over there last year.
Batted almost a 500 last year. Coach.
So replacing all that, and but hey, I've talked to some Ballard kids, and they tell me that Allen tells them that they're going to be right back there winning a state title again this year. So I think he's pretty confident over there.
Good for them, and shout out and best of luck to them
Absolutely.
in the 7th region. Coach, I think the last team on our list, the Assumption Rockets, our guest here was junior Lauren Satterley, and she kind of tops our list, Coach.
Yep.
Batted a .510 with 15 home runs last year.
Yep.
And like I told her when she was here, I had no idea that she put 15 out of the park.
No.
And did that. Lauren Camposano batted a .438, also a junior. And then Tia Ice, 6 homers, batted a .431. And another girl that's getting some big looks from some big colleges. And it's exciting to see. I mean, they've got 3 pretty solid juniors there. And I guess, we'll see who ends up getting in the circle for them, if Lauren has to, or what route they really go. They've got a new coach. I think it'll be a little bit of a waiting game, and we'll have to kind of see.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see. Of course, they're not in our region.
Yeah,
but I'm anxious to see what happens in the 7th region next year. It's going to be I think it's going to be a little bit of a dogfight in that 7th region.
Yeah, I mean, heck, those teams that we mentioned, you've got, Ballard back-to-back state title. We cannot, you cannot mark them off the list.
No.
Not at all. And then Male and Manual, both absolutely loaded with talent.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely loaded. You've got Assumption coming with 3 juniors, and heck, these all 3 might be committed to somewhere by then. And then, golly, let's not forget our Eastern Eagles.
No, they made one heck of a run last year.
And Hallie, I mean, hey, Hallie could take them all the way. Because she's nasty in the circle. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be fun to watch. And I cannot wait, Coach, till every week we can come in here and go through that, because, man, we're going to see it. And I know a lot of those coaches, they schedule up. They're not afraid to play some games.
No, none of them are afraid to play games. And it's going to be exciting to see when that district and region tournaments fire up.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We get down there to U of L, down there to Ulmer Stadium. Yeah. That place is going to be popping, because people are going to be coming down there to witness some very top softball. So a lot of big players are going to be down there this year putting on a show.
Absolutely. And, I mean, I think on your team alone, you're going to have a lot of new names. I mean, I know you graduated some pretty solid seniors last year.
Yep.
I know you have some great seniors this year, and one that just committed that we're going to get to in a minute. But, Coach, I mean, it's exciting. We're going to see some great stars and some kids really putting in the work.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to it, which brings me to your newest, which puts you at 5 for 5 in the last 2 years and maybe more. But, Coach, your pitcher just committed. You want to tell us about it?
So I get a phone call. I'm sitting at home, and Maya calls me, No, I take that back. I'm sitting at the facility giving lessons, and Maya calls me, and it's late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wonder why Maya's calling me this late.
Right.
So the first thing that goes through my mind is did something happen?
Yeah.
You know, because she's had a few injuries, and so I get a little worried. So I click on the phone, and she's like, Coach JB, and I'm like, yeah.
Oh, no.
And she goes, I just wanted you to be my first phone call. And I said, okay, why? And she said, I committed to Cedarville
University.
Yeah.
In Ohio.
Yes.
D2 school. Beautiful campus.
Absolutely Coach. Beautiful.
Man, yeah, it's really, really awesome.
Well, I'll tell you this. So she goes back up there that Saturday,
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
She calls me on the phone and says, Coach, I want to get you something. And I said, okay, I'll take a hat. I like hats.
Yeah.
Love hats.
Yeah.
She goes over to this wall, has me on FaceTime, and holds her phone up and scans this wall, and it looked like she was literally in a hat store. And I was like, is that like their campus store? And she's like, oh, you wouldn't believe it in here. She goes, this is like like going to a clothing store.
Yeah.
Like an actual going into the mall into a clothing store. They have so much stuff here, Coach. And I was like, well, pan that wall again. So she panned it again, and I said, stop right there. I said, give me that Mercy Blue hat for your college. So she picked me one out there and brought it back, and super, super excited about that kid. You know, again, she's 2 years. She's battled some injuries. And
yes.
Look, this is, again, you young kids, injuries, they're not going to take you out of getting where you want to be. They're just setbacks.
Yep.
It's how hard you work to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid has worked her rear end off to get back
Absolutely.
From both injuries, and now it's paid off. And she's going to play at the next level. Super happy for this kid.
Yeah. And Coach excited, and it's where she wants to go.
Yes.
And, you know, I know she had tons of offers from everywhere. And I hope, Maya, if you're listening, I want to have you on the podcast. And I want to hear your story, how your recruitment went, because Maya does Maya. Maya does things the way Maya wants to do.
Yes.
And I can't wait to hear it, because I know she'll tell the story better than anyone. But talk about that school is getting a fantastic player, a better kid, a great student, and just an awesome teammate. They're getting the whole package.
Oh, their family is, you know, I mean, her parents are absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Her mom every year handles our, we do the Angel Tree, the softball team.
Yes.
And her mom takes the girls shopping every year.
Yes.
And they go out and they shop for, you know, whoever we draw off the Angel Tree, and they have kids and whatnot. And she splits them up, and, you know, you go get this stuff, you go get that stuff. And, you know, they just go out and shop and have a great day, and then they go eat afterwards. And so Maya's mom takes care of all that for us. And, you know, Maya's dad, you know, he's just Brian, you know.
One of the best people in the game. As a freshman parent, I pulled up to open field, and I was greeted by Bryant. When you're a freshman parent, you're walking on, you don't know everybody. You're can I walk on the field? Can I not? And there's this guy with a smiling face saying, Brian Merrill, very nice to meet you. One of the best in the biz. And I'm just super excited for Maya. I'm glad that she has that, you know, off her, because I know it's a lot of stress. We've talked about it with, you know, Hallie and Lauren, the stress, and I get it. It's stressful. And I'm glad that she's made her decision. I'm glad she's excited, because I tell you what, I can't wait to watch her next year.
Yeah, and so, you know, we're sitting there talking, and she's, you know, telling me about her commitment and everything, and I'm just ecstatic for the kid. And, you know, I said, so now that weight is off your shoulders, and she said it before I did. She goes, let's win a state title.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, absolutely. So, you know, and again, for those kids that are under that pressure, man, listen, a lot of you people just truly don't understand.
Yes.
The pressure, the amount of pressure these kids put on themselves to get into this position, to try and narrow down that right school that they want to find. And get this signing, this commitment over with.
Yes.
And so I'm glad that both of my seniors have it behind them.
Yes, exactly.
Because I want to move on with this season.
Yes.
And put our best foot forward to get back to that state tournament and make a run at this thing.
Yeah.
And but yeah, super excited for the kid and for all the other kids out there that had signing day last week.
Yes.
Or 2 weeks ago, I think it was now.
Yep.
You know, just whatever. I'm just super excited for all of you kids that have made it to that level, your dream.
Yep.
And it's there, and now go ball out your senior year and just have a blast.
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's so exciting. We're here for these ladies, whether it's, you know, we've said it 1,000 times. It's not a Mercy thing. If you're at Eastern or Manual or Male or Assumption or Mercy or whatever, man, it's just awesome to see these girls do great, to chase their dreams, to do what they want to do, and to play softball at the next level when such a small percent of kids get to do it. And
Absolutely.
Coach, you're 5 for 5.
I am.
The last 2 years, every one of your seniors is now going to play in college. That's a stat that we don't talk about, Coach, but a pretty awesome one to have. And it just goes to show, look who's in the dugout. Look who's running, not necessarily the name on the front, who's I'm talking travel team. Think about those things. Because
Absolutely.
now you're 5 for 5, man. You got some great kids going to great places and are going to do great things.
Well, dude, I mean, not only that, on my high school team, I'm 5 for 5 with my seniors moving on to colleges and getting them where they need to be and helping them get there where they need to be, because I put in the work and I help.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not just that guy that, figure it out. Your travel ball team should handle that. Bull. I'm in this for my kids, for my athletes, and I'm going to put in the work and help them get those visits set up and get those videos sent out, whatever it takes.
Yep.
But not only that, on my Freedom team, I have multiple kids who college coaches are after right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit of and I can't wait till we can actually talk about it, but I know it's a little crazy with a couple, and it's exciting though. For them and but it's the stress, Coach. There is stress involved.
It's a lot of stress,
and if you can handle that, and it's a whole nother topic for another day. But let's save it, because I think that's a big one. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Make sure that you go to our YouTube page and subscribe, please. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs by Christmas. If we do, Coach JB and I have a gift for a lucky fan listener. We're on Apple, Spotify, all the services to listen to us, and we greatly appreciate it in your car rides to and from your Thanksgiving dinner. coachandthefan@gmail.com. You can always hit us up. Coach, next week, hopefully we'll have a guest. I'm hoping that she wants to come. I would love to chat with Maya. If not, we have some great topics to talk about.
Absolutely. And, all you softball players out there, just remember, Thanksgiving's coming. So that's food.
Yes.
Just remember, the more you eat, the harder you got to work that off later.
Hey, let's go. And that counts for podcast people as well.
That's
so I got to watch what
we got to watch all the pies.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you all next week. Coach, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, brother.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank
See ya.
you.